Imagine a rock god at the absolute peak of his fame, completely fed up with his own creation. That's David Bowie in 1973, and the story of his album Pin-Ups is wild. On this day in 1973, Bowie released what many considered a stopgap album, a collection of covers. But it was so much more than that. It was a deliberate act of creative recalibration after the Ziggy Stardust supernova. In 1972, David Bowie didn't just create Ziggy Stardust. He became Ziggy Stardust. This androgynous alien rock star captivated the world. Fans adored the outlandish costumes, the theatrical performances, the sheer audacity of it all. But here's where it gets controversial. Bowie, feeling trapped by his own creation and exhausted from relentless touring, dramatically killed off Ziggy Stardust on stage. Yes, you read that right. He publicly executed his most famous persona. But the music industry machine doesn't stop for existential crises. Despite his exhaustion and artistic fatigue, Bowie's record label contractually obligated him to release a new album by Christmas of 1973. Stuck between a rock persona and a hard place record contract, Bowie opted for a clever solution, a covers album. He envisioned Pin-Ups as a way to buy himself time, a stopgap while he figured out his next artistic move. But was it just a stopgap? Pin-Ups wasn't simply a collection of random songs. It was David Bowie's heartfelt tribute to the bands that shaped his musical identity as a young man. Think of it as his personal mixtape to the British invasion. Bowie, holed up in his Hyde Park hotel room, sifted through his collection of 45s, carefully selecting 12 tracks that resonated with his formative years. These are all bands which I used to go and hear play down the marquee between 1964 and 1967, Bowie later explained. I've got all these records back at home. He wasn't just covering songs. He was paying homage to his musical heroes. The final track list included 2 songs each from the Yardbirds, The Who, and The Pretty Things, alongside tracks by The Kinks, Them, The Easy Beats, The Mojos, The Merseys, and even a Syd Barrett-era Pink Floyd tune. It was a snapshot of the vibrant London music scene that both David Bowie, and this is the part most people miss. While Pin-Ups soared to #1 in the UK, his home country, it didn't achieve the same success in the United States, failing to crack the top 20. More than half a century later, Pin-Ups remains one of Bowie's most debated works. Some see it as a lazy cash grab. Others view it as a charming and insightful glimpse into Bowie's musical influences. However, Bowie himself saw Pin-Ups as a crucial stepping stone, a bridge between the Ziggy Stardust era and the more experimental Diamond Dogs phase. Pin-Ups was really my way of shaking off Ziggy completely while retaining some excitement in the music, Bowie told Uncut in 2001. It really was treading water, but it happens to be one of my favorite albums. I think there is some terrific stuff on it. So, was it a throwaway album or a pivotal moment in Bowie's artistic evolution? Speaking of surprising musical connections, did you know that Metallica, the titans of heavy metal, were huge David Bowie fans? Their hit song Master of Puppets even borrows a riff from Bowie's 1971 track Andy Warhol. Metallica lead guitarist Kirk Hammett recounted the band's awestruck reaction upon unexpectedly meeting David Bowie. "We sit down and there he is, just like, hey, baseball cap on. So funny, so personable, and so goofy," Hammett recalled. Rob Trujillo, Metallica bassist, and I sat down. Once again, the fanboy stuff came out. The image of these metal gods turning into starstruck fans is pretty amazing, right? So, what do you think about Pin-Ups? A brilliant reinterpretation of classic songs, or a lazy attempt to fulfill a record contract? Did Bowie successfully shake off the Ziggy Stardust persona with this album? or did it hinder his artistic progress? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments.